Okay, guys, so let's get started. So, when I sent this out, I put this screen out and I said I was going to talk about balance today because I believe this business is an awful lot about balance, and it's about striking the right balance between everything that we're doing when it comes to how much you're putting into your business, how much you expect to get out of it, and how you actually operate your business as well, because we're not just a simple network marketing business like a lot of other things. You know, the health and nutrition companies where the deal is you just go out and just sell. We're not like that because we're involved in education. And I think because we're involved in a business where we are working with other people's money, we've got a responsibility to make sure that we educate ourselves to pass that education on to the people that we bring into this business. So that said, let's get into what it is that I wanted to talk about tonight. So tonight's call, I wanted to talk about three main subjects. And what I wanted to talk about first of all is how much you should invest in your business. I wanted to talk about how long to stay in trades, because I've been getting a lot of questions over the week, and I've seen people that have been sort of getting in and out of trades, and some have been making profits and then seeing them disappear. And I want to talk about how much time you're going to put into trading versus building your team. So to start it, I want to start off with a question. And I want every one of you to answer this question, but I want you to answer the question for yourselves. And the question is why? And it's what it is that you want to achieve with this business. When you came to this business, what was it that you had in mind that you thought this business could do for you? Because if you can't answer those questions for yourself, how are you ever going to know if you're on the right track? You know, we can measure it by saying, I'm winning or losing, but are you actually progressing towards what it was that you wanted? And how much you invest in your business has got to be a part of the plan that you have. So a plan starts with knowing what it is that you want to get out of it. So start off with an objective in mind, and then know what it is that you're prepared to put into it and work with in order to get something out of it. And there's no point even getting started if you don't know where it is that you're going to in the first instance. And you hear the analogy many times about sort of no point just getting on a train if you don't know where you're going to. I'm not going to trot out old stories like that, but how much you can afford to invest in your business is really going to determine how much you're going to get out of it, because there is a trade-off. And the trade-off comes between the balance between how much time you put in and how much money you put in. If you can afford to put more money into your business in the early days to trade with, then you can trade with higher lot sizes and you can expect to get better returns. If you don't have that higher amounts of money to start off with, then you're going to have to go with lower lot sizes, but that means the trade-off will be it's going to take you longer before you're getting into the kind of returns that we see some people giving us. And we see some people these days that are consistently posting returns of £200-300 a day, and some people are posting returns of upwards of that, but it's because they were starting with more money in the first instance. So you need to get that balance right. And the next thing that you really need to understand when it comes to the trading side of it is how long you're going to stay into a trade to actually make some money. Now, that one, I wasn't sure about this in the first instance, and I wasn't sure how I was going to approach this when I first got started in this business, because I was really quite a nervous trader in the first instance, because I started off just being very uncertain about whether it was the right time to get in, the right time to get out, or whatever. But I actually have a much clearer and a much simpler answer to all of it right now, and I want to take some mystique out of it. But to take some mystique out, the first answer is you stay in a trade until you reach your goal. You stay in that trade until you get what you want to get out of it. But how do you know what you want to get out of an individual trade? Well, let's see if I can give you an idea. And I'm going to start with numbers, and I'm going to start with numbers for a really good reason, because you know numbers. When it comes to how people you recruit them and how people you have to speak to in order to recruit a distributor, things going to apply with trades. If you know your numbers, you can make sense of everything. So let's just start off. Let's just imagine that you're starting today and you've just got $100 to invest in this business. How long is it going to take you to double $100 to turn that into $200? In the first instance, the obvious answer, it depends on the market. We don't know. You could have a good trade and you could have like 2-3 good runs and do it really quickly, or you could have some bad runs. But we can put some averages on it. So I wanted to put some averages. And these averages, I think, are workable given what we're doing right now. And I'm hoping you guys are going to agree with me. And if anyone doesn't agree with me, then feel free to open your microphone and ask me a question, because that's what this is all about right now. But I want to start off with assuming that we're going to do just 4 trades a day, 20 trades a week. And if you were starting with just $100 invested, and we're doing 20 trades a week, and let's assume that, as we normally do, we expect we're going to win 70% of them, lose 30% of them. And I want to set a target, and I want to imagine you're going to put a target on this of $5. I'm $5 here because it's so $5 for a trade. And it really doesn't matter whether you're talking dollars, pounds, euros. Graham will probably tell me different if we're talking about rand, because I don't think he's going to be excited about 100 rand over anything. So, but that for the moment. So week 1, we win 40 trades, so we're $70 up. But we also lose 6 trades, so we're now down $30. So we've made a net $40 for the week. Given what you've seen and what your experience is, first of all, and I can only see a few faces here, but if anyone disagrees with me, feel free to shout out now. But over a space of 20 trades, I think that's reasonable to expect. With a very, very small lot size, I still think that's reasonable to expect that. So in the space of 4 weeks, we've made $160. Okay? So here's the problem then. The first problem is that if you start off with that, in the space of 4 weeks, you've made $160, your next subscription is just about due. Your next subscription is going to cost you $199. So you're not making any profit. If anything, you're going to actually have to dip into your pocket to do that. Now, I'd said originally there that we were starting with $100, and I think there is probably only 1 or 2 brokers that you start with $100. You don't start with $200 because they start with $200. We're probably, to be fair, $5 trade. If you're only got $200 in, $5 a trade, probably still a realistic target for what you're going to expect to make on those trades. So you've got to do one of 2 things. You've got to think in terms of either A, investing more money, and this was why I was going back to the original question, how much money do we invest? It depends on what you want to get out of it, but if you want to cover your subscription, you're really going to have to put more than $200 in if you expect to cover your subscription every month. And if you're then going to take that money out the next month to pay your subscription again, you're not making any major progress. So the next thing is to avoid paying the subscription altogether. And that's why we keep talking to people about finding the 3. Because I really do, I find it amazing that a lot of people think that they can just come into this without talking to anybody. And I hear people in the various groups who have no intention of networking. And if that's you, that's fine. But don't expect to see miraculous growths. It will make a world of difference if you can find your 3. So when it comes to how long you actually stay in the trade, though, however, you're going to stay in it until you've made some profit. Simple as that. Now, if we look at strategy, said that he's going into a longer-term strategy. He said that because of the hassle between China and Trump, markets have been all over the place, and we've seen very few trades coming out of Mexico for the last fortnight, really. And Darth Vader said very clearly that he's going to move into a longer-term strategy, so you'll get fewer trades, but we'll stay in them for longer. But when those trades come, he'll expect those trades to be profitable. And he still said that we will stay profitable just as we have been since January when we first started doing this with them. But we now have the French trades as well. Now the French trades are taking a different view towards it, because the French trades, they're what we call skimming the market, and they're looking for short-term trades, and they're in very volatile markets. And here's what I've noticed just this week, and this is what prompted a lot of what I want to talk about tonight, because I have changed the way I think about how to take these trades, and I go back to targets right now. My attitude when it came to taking the trades from Dark Vader a couple of weeks back, I just trusted the trader, what he said. I placed the trade and I didn't bother looking at it again. And I just got to the point where the trades either took profit or hit stop loss. And I just looked at the end of the day and just to see where I was. And that worked for a while. It's not working with these French traders. What I'm seeing with these traders is that all these trades go in and they set up racing. And I had one day this week, and I had to go to hospital for a pre-op stuff. And before I went, I looked, and I got 4 trades on the go, and I was £250 up on the day. I thought, fabulous, good news. Away I went. I was tied up for 2-3 hours at hospital. Got back, looked at my phone, and I was £100 down. Wow, I wish I'd taken that £250 when it was there in profit. And this is why I go back to what I was saying before about having a goal and an ambition for your trades, so you know when to take your money. And I came up with a kind of a formula for myself that I think works for me. Now at the moment, I've built up over previous months, I've managed to build up a comfortable size of money in my pot so that I can trade with, and I've got to the point where I'm trading at 0.5. We tell people when they first come in, particularly if you've got a small amount, then you should be trading at 0.01 or 0.02, and that's where I started. But over the months it's grown, and I've got to the point where there's more in there. So when I put a trade on, what I'm happy with when I see a trade is if it gets to £100, I'm happy with it. And this was why I was kicking myself the other day when I came away from the hospital, because a couple of those trades were well over the £100 and I let them go, and I should have taken the profit, but I didn't. So here's what I'm saying to you right now. The time to come out of your trade is when you see an amount of money that you are happy with. If you're only trading at 0.01 and 0.02, and you see a trade get to $10 or £10 or whatever it may be, take it. Now, you can do a couple of things. You can, if that trade is really going strong, then take half of the profit, because if you actually look on IC Markets, or sorry, if you look on MetaTrader 4 and you call a trade up, when you call the trade, look at it, you can click it, if you click and hold, you can actually close that trade. When you close it, you can also close half of it. Because if before you close, if you click on close and it says close and take profit, if you change your lot size to half of what you went in with originally, you will close half of that deal down. So you will take some profit and you'll then let the rest continue to run. So if you think this trade is comfortable, then keep some profit. That's you safe. That means you're not losing at all. And then just run and see. And I put a screenshot up on Friday, and I very rarely screenshots up. And I was surprised that so many people reacted. But the amount of people that did react, because I thought my screen was, I had a good day. I made a couple £100. I've seen much better results coming from Seuss, coming from Dor, coming from Cynthia, coming from Jonathan, and all the other guys who've put much bigger results. But the reaction that a lot of people had from it was that that was a really, really good performance. And my attitude to it was I just closed every deal when I saw that they were going somewhere close. If I'm trading at 0.5 of a lot, then I get to $100 or £100, I'm going to take it. If I'm trading at 0.25, I'm half that amount, and I get to £50, I'm going to take it. Now you can work that right down, and you can say, okay, that means at point one of a lot, that means at £20 I'd take it. And you can figure out an amount that you're going to be comfortable with. But the reality of it is, even if you see those trades continue a little bit after that, and they continue to go up, there's nothing to be sad about, because you've come out of that trade in profit, and you're going to see much less red trades than blue trades, just by the simple process of keeping an eye on it. Now, it doesn't take a huge amount of time to do this. We all know that actually looking at the trade, placing the trade is the longest part of the job, and that's 30 seconds. When it comes to checking your trades, all you're going to do is maybe once an hour or so, and particularly with these French trades, keep an eye on them. And once an hour or so, have a quick peek in, and as you peek in, you see what the trade's like. If it's blue and it's looking like a number you're happy with, close it, or close half of it. And if it's red and it's dropping, and an hour later it's still red and it's still dropping, close that too. Cut your losses. Don't let it go down to a stop loss. But if you can reduce the number of red trades that you have in there, the likelihood is you're going to actually see more profits at the end of the week and at the end of the month. And we'll get to the point where you're actually in profit every single time from these trades much, much quicker. And a lot of these guys are. Now, there are more traders to come on. When we had Check on him a couple of weeks ago, he said that there are more trades to come. And he said something about expecting more traders from Germany as well as from France. So as we get more traders on, we're going to get more signals, we're going to get more opportunities. The opportunities are going to keep moving. And don't forget that with Covera, nothing sits still with Covera. This isn't a static market. These move all the time. So we've got a constant learning process. We've got to learn, and that's what the traders do as well. And for that reason, I really do think you should be looking using the information you can study. What these markets are about and what they do. When questions like this, because people are asking about data groups that are coming through, and people don't know exactly what they're doing. I think data forex, isn't it? But there was a different group that they were coming through. The trade were clearly indices, and people don't know what they're about. And use demo accounts if you don't know what they're about. Just have a little play around with. Not with your real money until you get to grips with it, but just have a look around and use all the information that you've got to hand. But the important thing is that you just understand where you're going with it. The only other balance that I wanted to touch on is this one, and it's the balance between how much time you put into trading versus actually building your team. And to me, this is the difference between a business and a job. Because here's the first thing that I think. We know it doesn't take much time to make a trade. But there's a question, what happens if you don't place any trades? Because if you don't place any trades, there's no money coming in. But if you build a team, then you have money coming in even if you're not placing trades. And that's the thing that I think an awful lot of people are getting away from with this business. It is a network marketing business. And this is all about building people. I already said the first 3 people, you guys. Your first 3 people are hugely important to you, because your first 3 people are the people that are going to stop you from paying that monthly subscription. And if they can stop you from paying that monthly subscription, and you can put that $200 back into your trading accounts. I've done it with you guys. You know, there are some new guys on here who probably haven't seen it, but I've gone through the compound calculator with you guys, and I've shown you just how much profit you can make by just putting $200 a month into your trading accounts and topping up your trading accounts each month and moving up your lot sizes bit by bit, and it can make a staggering difference to all of you guys. So there are a million good reasons why you should be doing that. But the most important thing is that when you build your team, you get to the point where you don't really need to trade that much. I don't think anyone would say that they won't trade. I can't imagine Cynthia getting to the point where she's got an army of distributors and saying, no, I can't be bothered trading, because she makes plenty out of it. So you're still going to continue to do it. But wouldn't you rather have the choice? Wouldn't you rather not have to place those trades? And wouldn't you rather be in a point in the position where you've got a team of people behind you, and you're helping people by building their team up and building their resources up for them, and helping them to set themselves free, but at the same time knowing that if you miss a day of trading because you're working with your team, it's not a problem for you because your team's still growing and you're still making money on the back of that. And that's the other balance that we've really, really got to strike with this. So it seems to be really short and sweet, that to me. Tonight's call has just been straight to the nuts and bolts of that. But there are a couple of other things that I wanted to touch on as well, because I wanted to ask you some questions, and I could do with you guys opening your mics as well and give me some feedback. I wanted to ask some questions about this Wednesday's presentation. How many people actually saw this Wednesday's presentation live?
I did.
Hands going up. Cynthia, you did. Yeah. How many people had prospects on the call?
Me. Yeah.
Okay. Now, first, some feedback. What were your thoughts on the difference in the presentation between the last presentation we did and our old one?
I like the new one better.
Okay. Anyone else?
The biggest benefit, Rog, for me, after seeing hundreds of Zooms, was the close.
Yep.
The close was the most important.
Okay. Anyone have a problem with it? Anyone didn't like it? Is that your baby saying they didn't like it?
He's giving feedback.
Right, guys, we had feedback. I know at least one person who turned around and said they didn't see the point of it, and they didn't see the point in having pictures of my holidays up. That presentation that we put together wasn't one that any of us came up with. It's not an original presentation by any measure. Simon Brooks, Simon Kendrick, and myself came up with that presentation based on a presentation that Simon Kendrick had seen by Mike Dillard. And it's probably one of the best thought out sales presentations I've ever seen. And it ties in 150% with everything about the way I understand sales should be about. It's completely psychologically thought out. The beginning slides, we start off talking about what it is that that other people want, and we're trying to get people dreaming, and we're trying to get people trying to picture a benefit for themselves, what things would be like if they can actually have something more. And then we go into talking about the traffic going to work and the misery a little bit. And it's trying to tell people, trying to point out the grim realities that people have to face when they're going to work on a normal day-to-day basis. The bit when it came to putting my photos up, and I kind of understood the reaction when someone said they didn't like the idea of my photos. And to be honest with you, I'm not a fan. I've seen this face. I don't like pictures of me. But the idea of the photos were to show lifestyle. And so that was me sat at the side of the Danube and enjoying myself when everyone else is having a crap time doing a regular job. And then we went into painting a picture of what a better life can be for people. But when it came to the close was the thing that Simon Kendrick, Simon Brooks, myself, all got the most excited about. And we put a ton of work into building that close together and putting as much value as we could into it. Who actually sponsored someone on the basis of having seen that presentation?
I have somebody, yeah, sorry. I have somebody saying they're going to join. I'm waiting on the action.
Right. Okay. I'm trying to look around and see. Femi?
Yes, Femi. Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah, from that presentation, then the close was very powerful, because after that, I had someone who joined, and after that, I have someone who wanted to join, but probably by Monday, by tomorrow, hopefully the money will be there. But I think it's a very, very good intention, because the guy said to me, look, what a lot of bonuses there. So he said, oh, Femi, am I missing out of the bonus because I couldn't join before Friday night? I said, no, I will make sure I guarantee that, because I know the intention that you wanted to join and you like the bonuses, and I'll make sure that you still get them even if you join after Friday.
Okay.
Which I think is quite powerful, the close there.
I'd have said yes, but I'd have backed down a little bit at first, but I would have said yes first. Okay, so Femi, you had someone join. Cynthia, you're waiting for someone to join.
Yeah.
Dor, I know you were talking to someone who is going to join, but we're not quite sure who they're going to join with because they've been speaking to someone else and you're trying to sort that out. But we know of at least 3 people who joined who all said, I want those bonuses.
Yeah.
We put a huge amount of work into making those bonuses work for you. Simon Kendrick put some solid time in creating a Facebook training so that we have that there as a special bonus for you guys to give. I put a ton of time into writing the Instagram training that started on the back of seeing Carl Kidonoso at the Mercure a couple of weeks back, and I put a ton of time and effort into doing that. And we still have more stuff that we're going to put in. Simon Brooks is going to record something for us when he moves into his new house, because we're going to do something that's got the right background behind it and everything else. I do have one thing that puzzles hell out of me. Why I'm puzzled as to why only one person so far that I'm aware of has asked, where do I get these bonuses? There's only one person said, can I have the Facebook, the Instagram training? That was Graham. Cheers, Graham. Glad he was paying attention. It was good to know someone was. No one else has said, where's any of that other training? Now, I actually created a single sheet. So Simon Brooks has it, Simon Kendrick has it, Femi has it because Femi sent it out to his new guy already. There is a single sheet that gives links to every single bonus that's in there. But we wanted to try and create value for you guys, because we give people such incredible value when they first join up as a distributor, and we really undervalue ourselves. And this is an attempt to try and turn it round for you. And when I say undervalue ourselves, I don't mean undervalue Simon Kendrick, Simon Brooks, myself. I mean undervalue you guys, because you all help to support your new prospects. And there is an immense value for there. And they've got to recognize it. They've got to see exactly what you guys are doing for them. And so that's why we've done it that way. And I wanted to make sure that we got that through for you. And we give you the best sell we can possibly give you. And that sell really did work, didn't it, Simon? With the results that we got from other people, the feedback that we got from other people. We've never had a call where we've had people phoning back straight away saying, I am joining, or I must join by Friday. And, what happens if I'm a couple of days late? We've all of a sudden we've managed to put a sense of urgency on it, because in the past it's dragged on forever. And I did have people say to me, well, what happens when it comes to next week, will you still do it next week? Well, yeah, we will. But then again, DFS have a sale that goes on week after week after week. That Amazon constantly has sales, then they extend sales. Businesses is traditional in businesses. They get a good response for something and they continue it and they hold it open. What I say at the end of that presentation to try to get your prospect to join for the night is to say to them, we cannot guarantee that this will be available for you after Friday. And we won't ever guarantee that, because we could pull any one of those bonuses at any given time. And we will change those bonuses as time goes along, because there'll be different things that we want to put in there and we'll make these things stack up. But the fact that we have some sort of scarcity on it and the possibility of taking it away from people means that we actually create some more value on it. It's a bit like the old story, if you ever... if you take something away from them, you make something much. People will get this right. People will actually fight to keep hold of something rather than have something taken away from them. It's like trying to take an ice cream off a child. It's just like, you're never going to manage that. Trying to force someone to buy something, that's really difficult. Take it away from them, much, much easier. So that's the idea behind all of that. Guys, I don't know. I wanted to cover those few points this morning, and I wanted to cover that bit about the presentation particularly, but we know the format for this right now. So any questions from any of you guys about anything whatsoever, whether we've talked about it or not?
Okay.
Simon, you waving your hand. Sorry, Graham.
Just a question, that sheet with a list of links. Is that on the $1 Million Secrets?
No, it's not. But I'll put it into the Phoenix group, and Simon will share it around with everybody else, and Sam Kendrick will share it around with everyone else.
Thank you.
But at the moment, I actually deliberately held it back, waiting to see who was going to ask for it, but nobody did. Could have guessed. I'd have thought when we said that Simon was doing a Facebook training.
Yes, that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, I'd have thought everybody would have wanted to see it. When I wrote a training all about Instagram, I'd have thought everybody wanted to get hold of that, but
I do.
Good. Okay, well, we'll make sure it's available for you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Anything else?
I've something to share. It's not a question, but something to share. I was watching some of the Kuvera videos in the back office, and there is one particular video that talks about risk management. So I thought that was a very, very good video, and actually made me understand a lot more. So I think everybody should go into the back office and watch that particular video, the risk management under the beginners.
Yeah, and Cynthia, you put something in the $1 Million Support group the other day because someone was talking about risk management, and you put some really good feedback in there for people. So I appreciate that. It's people do have to use these videos. There is an incredible resource there, and we're not using it at all. Because we know they're not. Simon, you can say something.
Yeah, cheers, Rog, and a great training tonight. Excuse the look at my hair, it's Sunday, and the girls have been running me ragged. But I absolutely agree with what Roger's saying about having that balance between trading and actually building your business. We experienced it before when binary options was available in the UK. I know someone on this call was particularly hooked on binary options, and people neglect the business. And what Roger's just mentioned there truly hits the nail on the head. If you can find that balance, and you know what your goals are with trading, like Roger's alluded to, and then you concentrate on your business, that residual income that can come in, and it can help you in a number of different ways. So don't make the mistake of just being hooked on trading just because there's an amount of trades coming out every day. You don't have to place them all. Have a target, hit that target, and then call it a day, and then go back to building your business and helping people in your organisation. That's it for me, Roger.
Okay, anybody else with anything at all?
I just really want to say, as you guys know, I mainly focus on building an organization. Sell the dream, build a team. Sell the dream, build a team. Sell the dream, build a team. There's no risk to selling that dream and building that team. Trading is good, but it's a little bit scary. But with me building an organization, there's no risk. Absolutely zero risk.
Well, you and I are the same when it comes to that, and I've told all these guys many times over that I am no trader. I see myself as a networker. And as someone said the other day, just an MLMer. So yeah, I'm just an MLMer, but I'm happy with being just an MLMer. Thank you very much. So yeah, I really do believe that that's exactly what it is. It's about building the team. The fact that we have a product that people can make money from, that makes this opportunity the best one that I've ever seen. The fact that we can have prospects that can make money very, very quickly and very easily. But still, we have people coming in who start off with a very small amount of money. They don't have much money, and their hopes and their expectations are sometimes out of kilter. And when they think that this is going to be a savior, but they can come in with a couple of $100 as a starting point, and they think this is going to change their life around, it's not going to change their life around with $200. Not unless they go out and find some people as well. And we need to make sure that people understand that, and we need to set people's expectations in the right place. If you can put $5,000 in and you can be trading at a decent lot size, then maybe you can make a wage out of this right from the beginning. The problem then, of course, is that, as I said before, you're still just trading one job for another. Because if you ever stop doing it, you're going to have to go and find another job. So still, you have to build a team. But if you're at the point where you're coming in with a small amount of money, building that team is more important than ever for you. You really, really need to make sure that you find your 3 as fast as possible, so that you're not paying that $199 monthly subscription. Because we don't want anyone. Simon Kendrick, when was the last time you paid a subscription?
Sorry, I muted myself there. Never happened.
No, Simon?
Never.
Yeah. Just
yeah, recently. Yeah, no more subscription. Good.
Yeah, you don't pay it. You know, I found my 3 people on day 1. Don't pay the subscription. Just run at it until you do that, guys. You know, because it's $2,500 a year. That's a lot of money, isn't it? Just the saving alone.
If we told people that would scare the shit out of them.
Yeah. But guys, you're in, so we can tell you, we can be honest.
Yeah.
So
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Because all you hardballs who are really cracking it, signing up people and finding people who see the idea and building the team, did you ever have a hard time doing that? Because I do.
No,
and I would like to hear if you ever did, or you just.
Well, sis, I'll tell you what I did, and I'll tell you what I did, because when I joined Covera, I had been out of network marketing for 20 years. Okay.
Yeah.
All you guys, you've all heard the story many, many times over.
Yes.
How long I've known Simon for. I met Simon 29 years ago, and I worked with him for 9 years. And I loved network marketing, thoroughly enjoyed it. And then I got married, and I met my wife. And back in those days, we had no email, we didn't have any of Zoom calls or anything like that. The way Simon and I built our business was to drive all over the UK, thousands of miles a week, doing meetings every single day and building a team. And when I got married, my wife didn't want me to do that. So I had a choice between my wife or Simon, and she was prettier than he was. So, cheers, mate. So I chose network marketing. I chose my wife over network marketing. I did choose network marketing, actually. Now, I always said I would come back to it. Now, as it happens, I went back to my old business, the motor trade. I owned my own business, and I still did okay. And I was still lucky enough that I managed to retire very young. But I came back to network marketing when my wife passed away. And when I came back to this industry, there was only one person I was going to work with, and that was going to be Simon. So when I contacted Simon and I first heard about Covera, I'd been out of the industry for 20 years. So this isn't like I've got a team to fall back on. 20 years out of the industry, guys, how many times have we turned around and said like 20 days and you're out of it, let alone 20 years? So I didn't have any network to fall back on as such, but I did have a diary full of contacts. And I just went through my email list, and I went through all of my contacts on Facebook, all of my contacts on my mobile phone, all the social media that I had. And in the space of my first day, I contacted about 30 people, and that got me to Business Builder on day 1. I sponsored 22 people in the first fortnight, and I still haven't finished going through all of my one market. And Simon and Brooks and I were talking about this week. We were talking, what we were saying, saying to people, we should be talking to people again about one market and contacting people that you know, because it's not about selling to them. You know, I've said this a dozen times to people. This business ain't about selling. It's about finding out how you can help people, finding out what their needs are, what it is, where they have a gap in their life, and seeing if we have something that can provide a solution for them. And the reality of it is, the majority of people that have any kind of problems in this world, unless they're health problems, everything else can pretty much be solved by money. So therefore, we can solve most people's problems.
Yeah.
You need to understand what they are, first of all. So what most people tend to do when they get involved with network marketing is they go around to their friends and they say, you've got to join, it's brilliant, I love it, it's fantastic, you're going to get rich. And it's like a million miles an hour, and you're talking to someone about something they're not interested in. Talk to people about something that they are interested in. And I'll tell you right now exactly what they're interested in. They're interested in themselves. Talk to people about them. Ask them to tell you about them. Because as you ask them to tell you about them, and you've heard me say a few weeks now, Terry's not on the phone call right now, but you heard me tell you a few weeks ago about Terry, who I was out with Barry having a conversation with a guy called Terry, and as we were talking to him, the conversation came up that he wanted to build his own house. And so all of my conversation then was all about how Covera could help him to buy a piece of land to build his house. Or about the guy that I've got who's over in Nigeria who wants to start his business and he needs to buy tools to repair cars. Talk about them and find out what they want. But if we're talking about just saying, just join this business because I think it's going to be fantastic and think you'll love it, that doesn't excite anybody. How it can relate to them. If we can talk about that, and if you can talk about them, then you find it much, much easier. But you actually find the best part of the whole process is actually listening. It's not talking, it's listening. Let them do the talking. Let them tell you the reasons why this would be a great thing for them. Because if you can find out what they want and you can get them to tell you what they want, and then you can turn around and say, I know a way you could be able to get that. Well, all of a sudden, you've got their attention. It's a different story altogether. If you know a way they can get something that they want, life becomes much, much easier.
Simon, you had a question.
Sorry?
Simon Kendrick had a question.
Sorry.
No. Just again, I'm just going to add on to what Roger said. Here's how I see it, and Roger's absolutely right. What we need to appreciate is that just raise your hand for me if you were educated on how to manage your finances when you were in school. None of us. So people have this mental mindset or mental block when it comes to money, and Roger's absolutely right. My advice would be stop selling the product, start selling the benefit. Yeah, stop selling the product, right? Because you can talk about money all day, but because of that mental block, people just not going to see it, right? You need to sell the benefit. Benefit. That's how I see it anyway.
Which is exactly what we talked about on Tuesday News Day as well. Yeah. Okay, guys, so I'm going to wrap it up because in 15 minutes...
Can I just mention one thing? Because everybody here, and it's only everybody here that will see this, let me ask you one question. Does anybody recognise those two people?
Can't see it very clearly.
Oh, that's
Eric Worre and Fraser.
Okay, Fraser is in Las Vegas at Eric Worre's house for his birthday. And he just made a comment, and I'm going to read it to you, which I thought was stunning. Fraser Brooks, yesterday I had one of the biggest realizations ever, and it came from Eric Worre's mum and dad. I was chatting with them and asked a simple question. When Eric started in network marketing, did you ever think, just get a real job? Their reply, we were ones that got him involved. Eric Worre's mum and dad sponsored him into network marketing. That's a hell of a story. So Fraser is thinking, well, that's the same with my mum and dad. I've joined because of them. So amazing what goes around comes around. I just thought I'd share that, and that's just with you guys.
Fantastic. Okay, so guys, right. Simon, you've got your training in 15 minutes on a Facebook Live, yeah?
Yeah, guys, if you want to hop over to the $1 Million Secret, it's only going to be 30 minutes, but trust me, I'm not overhyping. This will, if you stick to what I'm teaching you on this training, you will see results in your business without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay, so this week, first of all, thanks in advance to Femi. Femi is going to put alerts into the temporary alerts group. So if anyone's having issues with the temporary, with getting alerts through, and most people should be solved by now, but if they're still having a problem, then the alerts are still going into the temporary alerts group, and Femi's doing that. So thank you, Femi, much appreciated.
You're welcome.
I am out of action after tomorrow. I'm around tomorrow. On Tuesday, I go into hospital. So I will be crying lots, like a baby.
All the best, Roger.
So Tuesday night, we will still have Tuesday News Day, just not me. So Simon Kendrick and Simon Brooks will host Tuesday News Day. The link is the same. I'll put the links out tonight, and we'll make sure we've got them. Wednesday, Simon Kendrick's going to host the opportunity call. So plug as many people as you can onto it. And last thing, guys, it's the 19th. There is just 2 days left to book the early bird tickets for the Next Kiss event. If you haven't booked tickets for the Next Kiss event, you want your bumps feeling, because really, that next event, you know, we're going to have Rick Robury there, and there are a lot of you guys who haven't met Rick Robury. You haven't seen just how powerful this guy is. You need to be there, and you need to have prospects there, because this man will have a room reduced to tears. He is so, so powerful. You need to, so get your tickets booked. You've got 2 days left to book them at less than half price.
This event will be a bit of a double whammy, because obviously on the Saturday, we're going to be doing some leadership training with Rick. Then we're going to be having the meal at the hotel. Then we're going to be having the cocktail party at my room, and I'm having a suite. It won't just be a room, it will be a suite. And then we're going to have overnight accommodation, breakfast the next morning, and then we got the full day. So it will be a phenomenal weekend. And when you look at the value of that, let's say if it's going to be an individual sharing a room, so they're going to be paying 30 quid for the room, 10 quid for the ticket, 15 quid for the meal, for a 2-course meal. That is for nothing. That is nothing. That's a 4-star hotel with the leisure facilities and everything else. People are crazy, absolutely crazy, if they don't attend. When you can be surrounded by people sharing ideas, sharing tips, sharing advice, and everything else, it's nuts. I don't get it.
So guys, 2 days to book it. Get your places booked. After that, price will double from £10 to £20 plus charges. So get that booked straight away. Save yourself some money, but make sure that you're getting prospects there as well. Okay, guys, that's it for me. So there will not be a Sunday how-to next week, because I'll still be crying. I'll still be feeling sorry for myself, but I will be back the week after. So I'll see you all soon. Bye, guys.
Jump on the live, guys. Jump on the live.
Bye.
Get you later.
Bye-bye.